Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA car kits in the 2006 Lexus GX, and today we're going to be installing our pure Bluetooth car kit. So we're going to start off with what tools you'll need. You'll need a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, some sort of panel removal tools, a hook, and a ratchet with a 10mm socket. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the shift knob, and we're just going to twist it counterclockwise and put it to the side. Next thing, we're going to use our flathead screwdriver. Only for this step is to remove this little thing, plastic piece right here, in order to move the gear position. And before you move it, you got to make sure that the foot brake is engaged, and is engaged already. So we're just going to press it down, put it to neutral. Once you put the car in neutral, we're going to use our hook, and there's a little plastic piece underneath here. So we're just going to get underneath it and pull on it. Just like that, and that helps us to remove this panel right here. So now we're going to use our panel removal tool. We're going to open the center console and start from this edge, same as this, and it just lifts up. And then you carefully lift it up towards yourself, and we're gonna put it to the side. Once you do that, we're again gonna use our Phillips screwdriver, and we have to remove these two screws right here, and that will give us the ability to remove these two side panels that are in leather. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. Once you remove the two screws, these panels can come off. So you're gonna start from the furthest edge and just pull it out. Once you remove this clip, you can just kind of pull it towards yourself. And as you can see, there's these three clips. And if once you're gonna be putting it back, you're gonna just put it like this, and it just clips in. So we're gonna do this side. Same with this side. Just like that. Once you do that, there's four screws, actually four bolts that you're gonna remove with this tool. And as you can see them, they're identical on both sides. So there's one right here, one at the bottom, and one at the top. And you gotta make sure that you have like not too long of an extension, just so you can reach it. And there's exact same thing on this side. So we're gonna go ahead and remove these four bolts. So now that the bolts are removed, the radio is gonna be ready to come out, and we're removing the radio in order to plug in this Y cable. So we're gonna remove a connection that looks exactly like this at the back of the radio. Then the connection that is removed, we're gonna plug in into the one end of the Y cable, and the other end is going to be used to connect our kit into this radio. So to remove the radio, we're just going to kind of grab it at the bottom here and pull it towards yourself, and make sure that you don't scratch the radio on the gear selector. And also watch the corners right here, as the metal parts at the back of the radio are pretty sharp, so you got to be careful. And the connection, it's pretty hard to see, but it's all the way at the bottom. Right here, so it looks like this. It looks exactly like the Y cable. So we're gonna plug in the Y cable instead. Just like that. And then we're gonna plug in the connection into our Y cable, and you're left with this one end of the Y cable, which we're gonna feed underneath the radio. Just like that. And we're gonna put the radio back. So now we have this connection at the bottom. So I'll show you what comes in the box for the kit. So one of the parts is the Y cable, and then you have this harness cable which we're gonna plug in to the harness, and then the other end of it goes into our module. And we also have to wire an auxiliary cable which will bring to the center console right here. And then there's, so that's the auxiliary cable, and there's also a microphone for the Bluetooth. So these Lexuses, they already have, most of them have stock Bluetooth for phone calls, but it doesn't do streaming of music. And one phone can handle two Bluetooths at the same time. So if you want to use phone calls and music on the same Bluetooth, we have to wire the microphone. Unfortunately, we can't wire the stock microphone into our module. And there's also an auxiliary port and an optional USB charging port where when you're wiring the auxiliary, you can wire both cables at the same time. So now we're going to show you how to wire the microphone, and we have to wire it all the way here at the A-pillar. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to drop down this panel underneath the steering wheel in order to fish the wire behind so it cannot be seen. So we're going to use our panel removal tool and kind of get here in the between the panel and the dashboard, and the panel drops. And we're going to do the same on this side, just like that, as you can see. So on this side, once you open the door, we're going to remove this panel. It's simple, it just comes off. And when you're going to be putting it back, make sure these two ends go in first into the appropriate holes, and then you put it back. Once you do that, we're going to be able to remove this part of the panel, just like that. Now over here at the top, we're going to remove this A-pillar. It kind of just drops down, just like that. And we do that in order to get the cable for the microphone behind the actual airbag. As you can see, this is an airbag, so the wire has to go behind it. We're gonna start feeding our microphone. Just like that. And that's where our microphone is going to be. And now we just feed the wire behind the white A-pillar cover. Just like that. And the next step will be to get the wire inside behind the dashboard, and then we're gonna start fishing it all the way to the back of the radio. It's kind of hard to do it fast, but okay, so I cut it with my hand, and now the wire is behind the dash, just like that. And now we're gonna continue from the inside. So right here at the top, we're just gonna put the mic kind of close to the corner and gonna lock the cover back. Just we gotta make sure that the wire is not sticking out anywhere and it's kind of tucked in. So right here it's at the corner and it just clips back in, and right here we have our microphone. So now we're gonna go ahead and continue with fishing the wire. So you just gotta keep it mostly behind the metal parts, and that way when you're gonna put this panel underneath the steering wheel back, the wire is gonna be hidden. And you gotta make sure you pull it carefully and that it doesn't cut on the metal parts, otherwise of course it's not gonna work. So we got it here. just like that. And our main goal is to pull it all the way to the back of the radio. In order for us to plug it into our module. And there's a label here for the microphone, so we're just gonna plug it in. Same with the auxiliary cable that we showed you earlier. There's also auxiliary port right here. And also, before you wire the auxiliary, you gotta put this panel back. And to put it back, you kind of have to pull it from the bottom in order for the clips to reach, and it just goes back in. Same on this side. And once it clips back in, you can put that outside panel, which we showed you earlier how to remove. So once you open the center console, we're gonna use our hook again, and there's a little notch right here where we can insert it. Gonna get it underneath and then pull on it, and this panel comes off. And as you can see here already, we made a notch. That's in order for the auxiliary cable to come through and not get jammed by this panel. So you can use a drill, and with the side of the bit you can make this notch, or you can also use this plastic is pretty easy to work on. You can use like an X-Acto knife to cut this part away. And same right here, there's a little notch, as you can see, and you can just move this sticky part away in order for you to feed the wire through. So we're gonna take our auxiliary, and it's actually easier right now to disconnect it from the module and put it through here. And kind of catch it at the bottom, just like that, and then you plug it into the module. So once the cable is at that notch, you can just put this panel back. So first the back part of the panel has to go in, just like that. Then you close it down, and as you can see, you only have that little notch right there in the corner where the auxiliary cable comes out of. And if you want to wire like I mentioned before, the USB connection, you would have to make this hole a little bigger. So now, once everything is in, we're gonna tuck everything in, and the best place for the module in this vehicle is right around here, in this space. If you tuck in the module just like that, it will not be in the way of the center console. And at this point, make sure that the radio, you put it in correctly. As you can see right now, it's a little bit out, so it's flush with the corners. Put in the 4 bolts on the sides, the panels, and then the center console. Now we're gonna do that and then show you how everything works in this particular vehicle. So we put everything back, and now we're gonna show you how everything works. So we're gonna turn the car on, just the first position, not the actual car. So we're gonna go to audio, and right now it's playing the original DVD changer. So we're gonna press this button one more time, and now you have an extra mode which you didn't have before, and it's CD changer. So you have disc 1 here right now, disc 1, track 1, and there's only 2 discs that are gonna work in this mode, so disc 1 and disc 2. So disc 1 is for Bluetooth, and disc 2 is for your auxiliary cable, which we wire to the center console. So we're gonna go to our phone settings and go to Bluetooth. And once you're pairing the phone, you have about first 40 seconds it appears, like just right now on your screen. We're gonna pair to it, and once it's paired, it will pair automatically every time you get inside your car, so you will not have to do it again. So this is for actually for the stock Bluetooth, but we're connected to our GTA Bluetooth. Once it's paired, we're just gonna go into our music, turn the volume up in order to match the car system, and then you can just control the rest of the volume from the actual radio. And as you can hear, it's playing wirelessly. So we're gonna go to audio, and if you press next track right here, it will actually switch without cables, and you can see it switching on your phone. Same thing with your steering wheel controls right here. So that's working. If right now you're listening either to the Bluetooth or the auxiliary, and if you receive a phone call, you have to be on our kits mode in order to use our kits Bluetooth. And as you can see, our microphone that we wired, you can either answer the phone call through the actual phone, or you can press next track and that will answer it. And we're gonna demonstrate it right now. And like I said, it will be the same if you're gonna be in Bluetooth, I mean auxiliary mode. So the music stops, you receive a phone call, and we're gonna press next track. We're actually gonna do it on our steering wheel, so it answers it. And to hang up, you can press next track again, and it just hangs it up. Let me also show you how to do your auxiliary. So we're gonna press audio, we're gonna go to disc 2, so the Bluetooth stops, and we're gonna pull our cable out. So this cable is good for any non-Bluetooth devices that you might have. So right now it's playing through the auxiliary cable, not over Bluetooth. And if you want to switch back to Bluetooth, you just gotta go back to disc 1, press play, and that's now Bluetooth. So it's very simple to use. You gotta be in the CD changer mode, and disc 1 is for Bluetooth and disc 2 is for the auxiliary. So again, this was a video for GTA car kits on how to install our pure Bluetooth car kit in the Lexus GS. I hope you liked our video, and we'll see you next time.